I'm Pamela Portnoy.
I'm Alexa Marie Anderson.
And no one's okay. Welcome.
Hi, friends.
We're back.
We are back. We are back with something a little bit different.
A smidge different.
A smidge different. It's a thing.
Alexa had an idea. Alexa, would you like to tell them what your idea was?
I had an idea. So last month was Women's History Month. So we are a little bit late to the party, but we are going to talk about a woman in film from the past who I think is very influential and super cool. And I thought it might be fun to just talk about her life and relate to it because we're actors. I know there's a lot of actors out there that listen, and writers and filmmakers. She's very fascinating, and I thought it might be fun.
I liked this idea. This was great.
Yay!
It was an opportunity to get to know some history that I didn't get to dive as deeply into as I would have liked. So
it's one of my favorite things to do.
So let's share this mystery.
Yes.
What are we going to be talking about? Who are we going to be talking about today?
Mystery woman.
Who is this woman of mystery?
Yes. Ida Lupino is who we are going to be speaking about today, which honestly, I want to talk about her name really quick because it's also really super fucking cool. It's obviously, it's Italian in origin, but it means little wolf.
Love that.
Lupino means little wolf, which I was like, that's also very fitting. As we talk about her more, I feel like you'll see why. I feel like
one of her more famous films was The Sea Wolf.
Yes.
So that's fabulous.
Exactly. Yeah, and she's like quite fierce as a human, so I feel like it's very, very fitting. But she was an actor, writer, and filmmaker of the 1950s, which is one of my favorite eras. So I was kind of like, I think I texted you and I was like, dude, I'm obsessed with this chick.
Yeah, you definitely did. What was the first thing that struck you about her?
I think, and I'm jumping forward a little bit, but when she's from England, but when she was brought into Hollywood, they were very much so trying to make her a Jean Harlow type. And I think what immediately had me connected to her was that later on she ended up dyeing her hair because she had blonde hair. She ended up dyeing her hair darker and started kind of putting herself out there as a like smarter, edgier, quick-witted type woman. And just right away, like my personal experience kind of connected to that because I also did that as a human. I used to have blonde hair. Fun fact for our listeners.
Fun fact. Picture Alexa with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't have to. If you look up her sister, you will see pretty much what she looks like with blonde hair.
My sister's like basically my twin. But yeah, so that's why I instantly related to her. But Pam, what was your experience looking up things?
Well, actually, I was going to piggyback off of what you said. I thought it was interesting that she did that because I feel like the industry sometimes is like, what's your type? And I feel like that whole situation that you just described is so like something that would happen. And later on in her career, she would often refer to herself as the poor man's Betty Davis. And I'm like, you're Ida Lupino.
Right.
We're not playing this game anymore.
I think it's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because Hollywood loves to compare.
Yes.
They love to compare you to someone they know. And it's interesting because it's like, that's our magic, right? That we are like no one else.
We are like no one else. And it's so funny, like when people say things like, oh, like this person looks like this famous person in Hollywood looks so much like me. And I'm projecting / people talk to me. They're like, aren't you concerned that you look so much like Keira Knightley? I'm like, I'm not Keira Knightley.
Exactly.
She's a completely different human, a beautiful, talented, incredible, and like all the things woman. And I'm just a different human. And yes, there's a slight resemblance, but if you do look at Hollywood actors, so many of them look like each other, but they're different people.
So true.
Different
and also,
essences.
I want to point out she dyed her hair darker to be smarter and edgier and all the things, but that doesn't mean that blondes can't be smart and edgy. I just want to point that out.
1000%.
Yes.
Which is something that I don't know how if you wanted to talk about this at all, but I feel like, yes, these stereotypes do exist, and there's like a lot of problematic things that happen in Hollywood. But that, what you just said, kind of spurred me to say that I started watching a bunch of her films this past week. And I know that people are going to give me shit for saying this, but man, I have a rough time watching these movies. I do not like these older movies for the most part. There are some that I like, but for the most part, I don't, because I cannot stand the racism and sexism that is rampant.
Hard.
Because of the era.
I forget. It's funny that you bring that up. I forget what movie I was watching. I want to say it might have been The Barefoot Contessa.
I think it was. I think you mentioned.
I mentioned.
Yeah,
I think I might have mentioned. But going up, there was a scene. I forget the actors now, but there was a scene in the club that Ava, who's playing the main character, performs in. But these folks were folks. Okay. I don't know why.
You okay?
That word, folks. These folks were having a drink at this bar, and an argument happens between a woman and I believe her husband, and he smacks her in the face. And I was shook. I
mean, constant. She's abused in pretty much every single one of the films I watched her in.
Yeah.
Told to shut up.
Yep.
People are women and people of other ethnicities, races are treated terribly, and it's really hard to watch.
It is.
It's really, really hard to watch. And I was actually talking to someone about this recently, and they were telling me that it's like really hard to hold your love for certain characters and your love for certain movies while you know what's going on. So like I was talking to someone who knows full well that Gone with the Wind is so deeply problematic, but also at the same time appreciated the spunkiness of the lead female character.
Yes.
Particularly in the book. But it's just hard.
It's really difficult.
I was cheering against Humphrey Bogart in one of these movies. Like I can't do it.
And I love him, but that character, certain characters and what he had to play, it's not great. It's really not great. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, and I think sometimes I like watching them. I mostly like watching them because of the females, and I'm more interested in their stories as humans. And I think that's why I end up watching their films, because it fascinates me. But you're right. It's a lot of them are very difficult to watch, and it's kind of outrageous, the things that happen on screen that would.
And for me personally, it's hard to hold my desire to, really appreciate my knowledge and expand my knowledge of film history. This is our profession. This is what we do. Like, ideally, I would like to see all the movies. But some of them that are on this like classic, timeless, whatever list, I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to. No. And so I had a really tough time with some of these, and I was actively like cheering against the movies.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's why I more or less just dove into her as a person. I was like, I feel like the movies aren't even going to, I want to know who she was as a human. I love finding all the fun facts.
For sure. And for me, I think the way I kind of tried to learn it, because it is part of that era and part of the culture, like the whatever zeitgeist that was going on at that time.
Yeah.
And I approached, learning about her through watching some of her stuff. And the first thing that struck me, to go back to your question, was she is a hustler.
Yeah.
She hustled.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing the equivalent of what actors today are supposed to be doing, which was creating your own work. She was originally contracted with Warner Brothers, and then she came out of that, and she was a freelance artist and started writing, directing, producing her own films, and was reusing sets, calling in favors from friends. It was like the
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood, like, I'm gonna create my own work to put my name out there. And I don't know how many films did she have by the end of her career, like 60 something.
Yeah, something like that. And I think it's really cool. She was like known as the master of cutting costs, which is really cool. Like you mentioned, reusing sets, shooting on actual location. Um, Also, she was composing music when she wasn't on set, which
I
I
didn't know
found,
that. That's so cool.
yeah,
For
yeah.
films.
It didn't say actually in the article that I read. It just said when she wasn't, she spent her time when she was off set, she was spent her time composing music, which I thought was interesting. I don't know what type. It didn't mention. I didn't actually go in depth in that, but I thought that that was quite interesting. Um, and she's famous for her realism. There was actually a story I came across that I thought was really funny. Even when she was younger, she would like take charge of like directing her cousins in films. And there was one movie that she was doing as a kid, where she had to rob a house. And so she was robbing this house, and a cop comes up behind her, and she's like, and they're like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm robbing a house." And they end up arresting her, and
Did
she's
they
like, "We're
get it
just
on film?
I don't know." She's like, but like, I don't know like the complete details. This was like a brief overview, but like they arrest her for being so cocky about it. And she's like,
That's funny.
we're just making movies. And I think it's cool. And one of the quotes that she has is, which really goes along with that story, is like, I believed my own lies completely so that others believed me. And I don't know. I
That's
think she's kind of
acting.
a badass.
That's acting.
Completely. She's like, I'm robbing a house. Duh.
Yep. 100%. Um, yeah. She was a pioneer in a lot of ways. I just don't know where to branch off. I have so many things. Um, she was the second female director to get into the DGA.
Mm-hmm.
So badass. And I watched her first movie that she directed. It's called Not Wanted.
Yeah.
And
Which was about like hard hitting issues that still are problems today.
she's known for making social issue
Yeah.
films.
Which I fucking love.
They're still, of course, older, so there are still issues that are problematic. But I thought that like the topics that she chose to dive into, like getting pregnant outside of marriage, or
Mm-hmm.
rape, or like like assaulting women, like lots of
Yep.
kind of what I didn't grow up in this era, obviously, but what I feel are kind of issues that they didn't tackle very often during this time period.
Not at all. She was such a trailblazer and such an advocate. Such an advocate for her era. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
She also she sounds like a super confident woman too, from what I've read. There was
Yeah.
there was a columnist that wrote, "She left me a little breathless, this deliciously arrogant child." And I was like,
Why?
deliciously arrogant. I don't know, it didn't go into it, but it was just like explaining how like sure of herself she was. And I feel like it goes back to the same thing. It's like she believed in herself so much that she made other people believe in her. And I think that's the magic right there.
Honestly, it intrigued me when I was looking at High Sierra, which she stars opposite Humphrey Bogart. And one thing I noticed is she is credited before he is in this film. And at this point, I think it was definitely before like the Maltese Falcon, like his big movies, but he was a big enough star that it was unusual. I think this was the last time he took second billing on a film. Um, the reason they put her as first billing is because her previous film, which the name is slipping my mind right now, her previous film had done so well. And I thought that was really cool because I'm like, oh, Humphrey Bogart's in this. He's going to get first billing. But no, it's Ida Lupino.
Yeah, she's badass for sure. Well, and she felt like it talks about her feeling most comfortable as a director too. And I feel like she acted her entire life, but what she really sought after was directing, which was really hard for that era for a woman. Extremely, extremely difficult. The system was basically pitted against you. And she talks about that, but.
Well, 100%. I think she really got into that because when she was acting, she was noticing while she was on set, like, who's that with the more interesting job? Oh, that's the director. Like, they're the ones doing everything, in charge of everything. Mm-hmm. And that film that I watched, Not Wanted, was not only her first time directing, but she isn't even credited as the director because the man who directed it had fallen ill. He had, I think, a mild heart attack. Yeah. And she took over directing the second half, and she refused the credit.
Did she write that as well?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it, yeah, I remember that. I feel like she was like co-directing, co-producing, and then wrote it as well.
Hustling.
Because she's that fantastic. Like,
it lit a fire under my butt learning about her.
It's so motivating, isn't it? That's why I love doing this. I truly love reading about these women of the past because it motivates me to keep going. It dares me to keep trying. And honestly, some days, like, that's what keeps me going in a weird way.
And I imagine, like, I mean, it's already hard for women, but imagine particularly in that time. Mm-hmm. Even harder, I imagine.
I'm like, if she could do it then, I can do it now. God damn it.
God damn it. I'm going to do it.
I'm slacking.
For sure.
What would Ida Lupino say?
1000%.
Yeah. I don't know. It makes me, it just makes, I don't know, it comforts me and also motivates me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. How does it make you feel, Pam?
I felt very motivated. You know, I always feel silly. Because as I had mentioned before, I'm a film major. So I spent my college years watching all the movies. And I never liked the old ones. I would always fall asleep. I'm not proud of it, but I'll share it. Like, I know full well Citizen Kane is an incredible film, but I tried watching it 3 times and I fell asleep all 3 times. I probably should not be admitting this.
No, I mean, listen, it's normal. It was a different era. Different things were like, there was different styles, different things were popular.
I think the only silent film I ever liked was Nosferatu. And that's it. And then the rest of them I slept through. I'm such a bad student.
I feel like I missed out. I feel like I should have been a film major because now I'm like playing catch up because I went to school and I majored in musical theater, which is completely fine and lovely. So most of my history lessons were in musical theater history.
And for those of you driving, that siren is not for you. It's in our background.
Sorry.
Sorry, you're not getting pulled over.
It's actually
Alexa's background.
My background. I'm sorry.
You never know because here they're always drag racing and they're always sirens. So I don't know.
Sorry.
Guys, don't worry. You're driving safely, I hope.
Yes.
Yeah. Forgive me for interrupting you. So
no,
rudely.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say that, like, I'm doing all of that catch up work now.
Well, the thing is, the way you're feeling about that, like about not being a film major, is how I feel about not being a theater major.
That's so interesting.
Like, you can't do it all. You can, but like,
I didn't.
The grass is kind of greener on the other side sometimes, right? Like, I wished I had that 4 years of structured training instead of like, and I'm proud of my training. I've had a lot. But it was not the 4-year structure. It was, I'm going to dip my toe in here for 2 years, here another 2, here for a summer, like, and then scene study for many years. But yeah, so don't feel bad. But you should come over and watch Nosferatu sometime.
I would love to.
Do you know what? It's the silent version of Dracula.
I do. Yes.
Spooky.
Yes. Weirdly enough, we did talk briefly about that in theater school. I remember that name.
It's probably the most popular one, and that's like the one I like watched.
Like that's the only one I stayed awake for.
Listen, it's a problem to have a 3-hour silent film class after lunch.
Oh,
no one's awake.
Feed me. And put me in a dark room. I'm gonna nap.
Had a theater room, right, with the plushy chairs.
Yeah. The big screen. I'd be done for.
Screwed.
I would be done for sure. For sure.
I don't know, like when the appropriate time of day to have that class is,
I would
it's not after lunch.
I would need a shot of espresso to get through.
We're either doing this at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
No, we're doing this at 9 p.m. That's the only
option. Only 9 p.m. Honestly. And give me some popcorn also. Correct. I love movie snacks.
What was this?
I think that was me getting, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of hand motions on my end always. I'm sorry.
Our audience members listening, she made some strange popcorn hand motions. Go to YouTube if you want to see.
Yes. Please do.
What else did you notice? What do you love? Tell me.
I mean, I love the choices that she makes as a human. I think as a person living in 2021, I have a lot of anxiety and insecurity, and just seeing her being such a badass, such a trailblazer, not giving a fuck. Excuse my language, not really though. Empowers me to do the same, because on the day-to-day I judge myself constantly, and so this helps me to. It's a nice reminder of like, be yourself.
The not giving a fuck really stood out to me when I learned this little tidbit from High Sierra, the film she did with Humphrey Bogart. And again, I read this in an article. It could be hearsay, not entirely certain. But what I read was that obviously, as I mentioned, she got top billing, right? And apparently, even though he never complained, he didn't like it, right? And so towards the end, she has a huge scene, which she fucking slayed. So good. And she like breaks down, and then she gets a little loony. It's amazing. And apparently while she was on set, she was having a hard time like getting to the point of tears. And apparently, what I read, Humphrey Bogart said, "I'm going to take this movie away from you if you don't cry."
Humphrey.
And that's what I read in the article. I don't know.
Disappointed in you.
And then she's like, fuck this. And like, she did not, I think she pulled out of another movie that she was supposed to do with him right after that.
That's interesting.
Or no, she still did it, but another man did it with her.
She was like, okay. Fine. Here I go on my next film without you.
Correct.
Love it. That's a good story. And that's the shit I like.
If it's completely true,
listen, we don't know.
We're not historians.
We
are just doing the best research we can and trying to like make it our own and trying to make it interesting and sharing what touches our souls. And that touched my soul. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
Slash also don't, because that's kind of a dick move. Like, stay out of my acting. I'm going to get there when I get there. Particularly when you're at that level. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Projecting a little bit of bitterness, but okay.
No, we're not doing that today.
We're not doing that today. That just kind of paints a picture for you. I feel, if that were true, it paints a picture of what she was probably dealing with all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the first time someone has said something like that to her. That's for sure.
For sure. I did think it was interesting that after she left the Warner Brothers thing and was starting to direct and have her own production company, she started the company with her husband, and then they divorced and they still work together, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, she had it seemed, I didn't dive too far into her like love life.
And she was married 3 times.
Yeah, she was married. Yeah, she was married a total of 3 times. That seemed, it just seemed like not a priority for her, which is totally cool. She was also nicknamed Mother on a lot of sets. She was a very sensitive human and empathetic, it seemed like, which are all great qualities to have. Yeah.
I think one of the other things that struck me was she mentions that it was hard sometimes because I don't know how to put this into context of the article I read, but apparently she would say things like, it seemed easier for men to leave their families to come to set and then just like have the wife and kids come visit rather than go to set and be like, hey, husband, can you bring children and yourself to set to come visit? Just because of the nature of the time period.
Totally. It was just,
I imagine there were a lot of sacrifices made.
Absolutely.
For women that just like really wanted to pursue their careers seriously.
Yeah, I bet there was, I didn't read about that, but I'm sure there's a lot of sacrifices that, I mean, just even relating to, and I'm sure you feel the same way, Pam. I feel like for this industry, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. It just kind of how it works in a way. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times because auditions and job bookings can kind of come out of nowhere, your plans just gotta you had no plans.
That's why I think picking the right people in your life is so crucial, because
they have to understand that for sure.
Yeah, you need to have people around you that are going to support you and support you doing what you're going to do, and understand that plans can be rescheduled.
Absolutely. Like when you need to drop everything and make a pizza and film an audition when you were supposed to go to dinner.
And then you get pizza.
Then you get pizza. That's what I have to say.
Good. See, that's a man that understands.
Yes, exactly.
But I honestly don't think that was much of a sacrifice that he had to make in that moment.
No.
You were making pizza.
I did. I don't think I shared any of it, though.
The truth comes out.
It was late.
I don't know why I was literally about to ask you, are you sweating? But we're literally not in the same place. I'm so sweaty.
I am a bit hot. I mean, I am drinking some wine, so I feel like that's part of it. But I
finished my glass already. This is a problem.
I'm a bit hot.
All right.
That's for sure. I saw you were drinking rosé. I like it.
Refreshing. It's the only wine I have at my house right now, because I've been trying to chill out on the wine a little bit. But I feel with the exception of our recordings. But Ida. Freaking badass.
She is indeed. Let us know if you guys like this.
Yeah.
Do you want us to do more?
Like,
it's a new thing we're doing.
Yeah, we're occasionally gonna bring topics such as these to the table. Maybe we'll learn something new, maybe we won't. But we're feeling Ida.
I feel her.
Yeah. Pioneer.
She is indeed.
Gorgeous, talented, smart businesswoman, artist.
Also, she went against the grain. She didn't listen to Hollywood. They were like, you're the next Jean Harlow. And she was like, hold up. Badass. Because I'm not too sure I'd be like, yes, I am the next Jean Harlow. Where do I go?
That's funny.
Even, you know what I mean? Like, good for her. for not just going with it. She was like, no, I know who I am. Sorry, I'm going back into it now because I'm excited.
No, it's really, really good. I was literally just trying. Ooh, I made a noise.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's empty, sort of. I need to like get a refill. That was very, very fast. But I was trying to find. Oh, found it in my head, not on my phone. I watched another film that she did called Roadhouse. Now, when I was looking through her credits and saw that she did a film called Roadhouse, I immediately was like, is that the original to the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse film?
I haven't seen it.
I don't know. Here's the thing. There's a bar in both of them. There is an evil guy in
similarities.
Both of them. There is performers at a bar. There is a bar that like needs cleaning up. I feel I should have read an article to like confirm this, but I feel in my guts that Ida Lupino's Roadhouse, where she plays a singer piano player that's brought into the bar to help create bring the bar a lot more revenue. I feel like that version is the baby seed, the baby seed that created the monster that is Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse. Because I feel like it was a seed that it was not like a remake. It was like, here's a little idea. Now I'm going to put some dynamite and some cayenne pepper and fucking just make a whole different movie.
I love that was your spice of choice.
I don't know.
Is it smoked?
You know I don't cook. Don't roast me.
Dead. Some habanero. I don't know why I said oregano.
I'm doing worse. I don't know. The pepperoncini. I don't know.
Oh, I love pepperoncinis.
I love pepperoncini. Is that how you say it? Pepperoncinis? I say pepperoncinis.
Pepperoncini.
But I know it's spelled with an N.
I say pepperoncini.
So sweaty.
I don't know if I'm right. I know that
we're struggling.
People say bruschetta. This made me think of something. Bruschetta, but it's bruschetta because CH in Italian is.
Oh my god, that was so sexy. Can you say that again, please, for our listeners?
It's my Italian blood.
I'm fanning myself.
Sweating.
What is wrong with the temperature in the room?
I mean, I'm always sweating.
Well, you and I are never this bad. I'm always pretty sweaty, but not this bad ever. I think it's just Ida's got us all riled up.
She really does.
So for all you fans of Roadhouse out there, and I know you're out there because every time I have told you guys, whether you be audience members, whether you be friends or family members, that I have not seen Roadhouse, you always give me shit. And guess what? I finally saw it. And yes, I just saw it this weekend to confirm whether or not it was birthed from this Ida Lupino film.
I haven't seen that
Lupino.
I haven't seen the Ida Lupino version, but I've seen
You've seen the Patrick Swayze version?
Yeah. So now I need
was I the only person on the planet that hadn't seen Roadhouse? Maybe. Now I saw it.
But it's usually me, so I can't even be mad at you. Like, I'm usually that person. Like, what's that film?
I was very happy to have seen it. It really had that delicious 80s vibe, and Patrick Swayze is just chef's kiss. Absolutely spectacular. Yeah, it's basically take the 1949 version of Roadhouse and put it on make it the Tyrannosaurus Rex version of it and like change it up a little bit. It's like, it has to have a relation. Like, it's not the exact same. You can't watch them both and be like, oh, this is definitely the remake. That's not the case. But it's the idea that sparked it. It's a bar getting ramped up. That's really the only, and there's some conflict.
I'm interested. I feel like I need to watch.
Yeah, you do. You do. I think you'd find it interesting. And because she does a lot of singing in that one. And it's lovely. And it's nice because in those old films, they weren't like just giving you a little snippet. They like stay on you for the whole song.
Yeah, no, they do. It's really nice. A lot of, you know what's fascinating? A lot of actors, women actors of the 50s also sang, which is really cool. I love that.
I would not have made it in the 50s.
I think some probably had voices that were dubbed in. I'm not going to lie. Like I have a hunch. Actually, I might have read something about that for certain women. But
for those of you that have never watched anything that Ida Lupino has done, she was known for her very sultry, sexy voice.
Yeah,
I dig. Check her out.
I dig. She's a multi-talented lady.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
Feisty. Played very like off the beaten track female characters.
Yeah.
And directed a lot of important films that dealt with social issues. I feel like I'm the least eloquent I've ever been in my life on this episode.
No, you're doing, I don't think so. I would tell you.
No, you wouldn't.
After we stopped recording.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
No, I'm
being honest. We're gonna be heavily editing this episode.
No, you're doing great. You're doing
great.
But yeah, she is a lovely human, and I am so glad to know more about her. I feel like she will inspire me in my life.
What do you want to incorporate into your mentality now that you've learned about Ida?
Her confidence.
I love that.
Yeah, I need her confidence. I'm just going to channel her every time I need confidence in myself. I'm going to channel Ida.
Everyone could use a little more confidence.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like people that I feel like should be the most confident sometimes are lacking in it. So
I've always been like a big believer in like fake it till you make it. So I feel like a lot of times I fake that I have confidence in hopes that like my brain will just like latch on and figure it out.
Brain is like, oh, look at her go. I'll keep up.
You're like, all right, here we go. She's doing it. Maybe I can make it.
She must know something I don't, so I'm just gonna do what she's doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think a lot of times, like people have told me before that like I come off as confident, but like I'm here to tell you that it is all a ruse.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty common, right? First of all, like that's I think that should not be the case for you. I think you have every reason to be confident, but I feel like everybody has that. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
Social media is the projection of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult. It's harder than it seems. Like people are like, oh, you need to be more confident. And it's funny because that was my note all the time in college and acting class. You need to be more confident.
Great. And
I was like,
can you be more specific?
I was like, how do I do that?
I feel like confidence, as weird as it sounds, I feel like it either comes with, this is like a really harsh statement. I don't know if I should say what I'm
No, say it. Say it.
I feel like confidence comes with either arrogance or actual years of learning enough to earn the confidence.
Yeah. It's hard. It
depends what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
if you're like confident in a skill, you're going to have to take some time to learn that skill.
Absolutely.
Confidence in who you are. Fucking own who you are.
Yeah.
Just do it. I don't know how, but it takes time.
It's not as easy as it seems. And I mean, listen, like someone said that Ida was deliciously arrogant. They used the word arrogant.
But also keep in mind the era.
Well, right.
What does that even mean? Because I also know Ida was saying things like, I am a poor man's Betty Davis. That sounds pretty humble to me, not arrogant at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was saying it in a good way. Like I was saying it like good for her.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, that person that was saying that, why?
Was it a man?
What did she do?
Sorry. Just curious.
What did she do that made her arrogant? We don't know.
We don't know, but she was a talented lady, so I feel like she deserved to exude confidence.
1000%. And I
We
feel
all do.
everyone deserves to, correct. Yeah. Everyone deserves to exude confidence because we all bring something unique to the table.
Absolutely. What is your biggest takeaway?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I thought that was my hair. I thought it was a sweat stain. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta hide everything. This is the most embarrassing episode so far. We're trying to be scholarly, and I am just wow. What did I learn? I don't know if this was a direct result of exploring Ida Lupino, but last night I was having an epiphany, which is incredibly personal, and I can't believe I'm about to talk about. But I realized that there are a lot of self-imposed limitations that we all put on ourselves. And sometimes we are aware of them, and sometimes we're not, and it takes some sort of epiphany or someone to bring it to your attention. Some unique circumstance to let you know that you are limiting yourself. And I realized that there are certain limitations that I put on myself in regards to what I can and cannot accomplish. And I can't put words to why I've put those limitations on myself, but I did come to the conclusion that they're dumb. And I'm not doing it anymore.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was a result of studying Ida or if it was just kind of like a perfect storm.
I feel like Ida helped.
But I think everyone should that's my takeaway, maybe sit with yourself for a little bit and think about what you want from your life, what you're pursuing, what makes you light up.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's standing in your way?
Only yourself, usually.
Usually it is only yourself.
101%.
But I was scared of this episode, but just from that like tidbit moment, like we're good.
Listen, this is one of my favorite things to do in my spare time is to look up humans and learn fun facts and learn their struggles and learn their triumphs. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just, I find comfort in relating to people. So this really just helps me, and maybe it'll help you out there, wherever you are.
Comment below or email us.
Comment below. You're like really bright today. This light is like,
I am shining like the
I also
sun.
have like zero makeup on. This is
you
Fred.
Look gorgeous. For our listeners, she's wearing this beautiful ensemble.
It's like it's like a baseball shirt.
Listeners in France, and I know we have listeners in France. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to speak French, but she's wearing a baseball shirt. She's wearing this ensemble that I've never seen before, but it's fetching.
You've never seen me wear this?
No, it's fetching. It looks spectacular on you.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite shirts. I like it a lot. Thank you.
I thought you like stole that from Shan for this recording.
Oh no, this is mine. Shan's never taken this. I do steal some things from Shan.
Like
I do like.
You wore Shan's sweater at one of our recordings. I
did. Right? I had a little sweater on. I've stolen some button-up shirts. I do like masculine clothing sometimes. Fun fact about me.
Me too.
Yeah. Big fan.
Go to our Patreon. See us really let our hair down. Wear masculine clothing and no makeup. Check it
I
out.
mean, I'm like usually not wearing makeup, mostly because I can't because of the mask situation, because I break out, like such as what's happening here, but I don't know if you can see it.
I
It's happening.
didn't leave my apartment today, so I didn't wear a mask. And I wanted to look pretty for you guys.
You look
So
great. I didn't put makeup on for our listeners. I'm so sorry.
do you ever have moments where you notice just like randomly that you've aged? And I'm not talking in a negative way because I actually like the way I've sort of been aging. But I taped myself for an audition this past weekend and I was looking at myself on camera. I was like, I look different than I'm used to looking. Did I do something different with the lighting?
Dude.
Or is it my makeup or my skincare? Or I'm just like older and I just noticed.
It's funny that you brought this up. I have a wrinkle. Wait.
Oh, which one? Show me. I'll show you 10.
The light's like blowing me out right now, so I can't really, but I have a wrinkle like right here. It's very deep.
Do you know what that's from? From emoting, from feeling things. That's what happens.
Thank you. I mean, I feel things very deeply, so that makes sense why this is a very deep
I have about 5
wrinkle
from being shocked at people's stupidity.
I legit had a dream. No, Pam, I legit had a dream that I had Botox
Yeah.
for this wrinkle. That's how much my brain has been focusing on that.
These get me, and then I have these, but I don't mind them. Like I've earned these.
I'm not mad about it.
Earned these.
Listen, I'm not mad about it. I don't know what my life path will be. I might do something about it. I might not.
I'm not against people that do things about it.
Right now, I'm just living with it because, like,
I think
it is
people
what
should
it is.
just live their life, do what you want to do.
Do
what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy. Listen, you only have one time to do it, so the time is now. Do what you want. I also got my upper lip waxed recently.
Must be nice. I haven't
we're
been
getting
anywhere to get anything.
We're getting. I didn't go anywhere. I'm very lucky that I have.
Did you use your at-home waxing?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. One of my good friends, she used to be an esthetician, but she's not anymore. But she has been a quarantine bud, and she's also now vaccinated, which is super cool and amazing. Love
and
that.
You're half-sies.
I'm half-sies. I have, yes, one to go. But she did my lip, and it's something that's bothered me for like a really long time, but because I have like really blonde hair right there, I haven't been like super proactive about it. Plus like quarantine, and I don't want someone in my face.
Except Shan, but Shan understands that
even
spoiler, women sometimes have body hair.
Oh, right. I forgot. I forgot to let you know. I'm Italian. And that's a thing that happens. We have upper lip hair.
It happens to all the women. We all have.
Yes. I mean, yes.
I know. You guys weren't ready to hear that. I'm so sorry.
I know. I guess I kind of sprung that on you. But yeah, it feels nice. I'm very excited about it.
Very good.
The new sensation.
Yes, we're looking for new sensations during quarantine when we're living for new sensations.
I don't know why I'm sharing this, but it was very exciting.
I don't know why we're sharing 75% of what we've been talking about this episode.
I don't know.
Good.
Here I am. Are you okay?
I was going to ask you, but you beat me.
Gotcha.
I'm great.
Oh, yay.
I didn't think I'd share this publicly, but why not? I love, adore our listeners. And I feel like we're always honest and share things. Yeah. I got my second vaccine on Thursday, and I'm really, really happy. And my parents are vaccinated. My grandparents are back. I just feel like I can finally breathe a little bit. Yes. At least take a deep breath.
It's an anxiety reducer for sure.
Yeah, I was really, really like emotional and happy when I saw my parents get their second dose. Yay. and I was a little bit I had like I had symptoms, but like totally not anything more than like what I usually have on the reg. Because I get migraines all the time, and I got like a migraine, and I got all that. But anyway, grateful for that. And it really added a pep to my step. And I don't think that he's listening to this episode right now. I think he listens to them later. But my friend Jackson bought me this book probably about 7 years ago, maybe long time ago. And it's his favorite book, and he bought it for me for my birthday. And I have always felt so embarrassed because I can never get into it because it's so difficult to read. I don't know if any of you out there have read Game of Kings by Dorothy Dunnett, but a lot of it's in Old English, and there's like French excerpts, and it's written incredibly poetically. It's just really difficult language to kind of lose yourself in because you're trying to you're looking stuff up in a dictionary constantly. And this last week I decided to get back into it, and I finally I can officially say I'm in. And there's no going back, and I'm going to finish it within the next week. And I cannot wait to call him and be like, guess what? I did it. And he's going to be like, what year is it?
So what is it about?
It's about this a Scottish outlaw. It's historical fiction. It's a Scottish outlaw, and I think the mid 1500s.
Ooh.
And he's basically, you don't know what side he's on. There's a war between England and Scotland, and you don't know what side he's on. He's like constantly dressing up in costumes and like pulling heists, and there's romance and hilarity. And it's one of those books where like it's written so beautifully, and once you're in it, you're like highlighting and taking notes, and it's like it's so good. And like I see why it's his favorite now, and I don't know like what ticked inside me that like made me get into it, but I'm so excited, and that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight after we get off this session.
I'm excited for you. That sounds awesome.
I think I've mentioned to you that I haven't been able to read this book before, and it's time, and it's really been affecting the rest of my reading. I have been reading, but it's always like in the back of my mind, like you
need to read it.
You are a fraud. You cannot read other books because you haven't finished this one, which I don't logically believe. Like, I believe, like, look, if you can get into a book, move on, get into a different one. But there was something about this one that I'm like, I know I should be liking it. I know it's good. For me personally, I'm very happy now.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel that way a bit about Chaos. I don't know if anyone knows that book.
Is that a Malcolm Gladwell book?
No, it's a nonfiction book about, it tells like the like real story about the Manson murders kind of.
Okay.
It's like it's the latest version of that debacle. But I feel a bit that way about that book as well, because there's a lot of like legal terms and things that I have to like research while I'm reading it, because I'm like, what does that mean?
I feel like it'll find you when it's the right match for the time in your life.
Yeah, I started reading it during quarantine when I had like nothing to do, and then when things started to pick up again, I put it down, and I haven't picked it up since. But I need to get back to it because I liked it a lot, and it fascinates me. But it just takes time. I mean, it's a hefty read. It's like this thick.
And what she's holding up to our non-watching listeners is large. Maybe like 3 inches.
Yes, I would say 3 inches. Thank you, Pam.
Good.
Sometimes forget that people are watching it on YouTube because I feel like, why wouldn't you want to watch it on YouTube?
I think you should do both. Yeah. Listen, and then like if you want to see our faces,
do both. Do all of the things. But yeah, I feel similar about that. Because I similarly.
I think so.
Now you know why I need to look up the legal terms.
Embrace it. Do it.
But yeah,
Confidence.
I know. Confidence.
Confidence.
Damn it.
If I yell at you enough, you'll get the confidence.
But yeah, so I need to do that because that whole world and case just really fascinates me. But it takes a minute to get through. And I need jazz music playing in the background. I've talked about this on a previous episode. I do read my books with music in the background. Because I'm weird.
No, you're not weird. I
do everything. I do everything, Pam, with music in the background.
No, I understand. I don't know
what I'm doing.
No. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. I've just have like this deeply. That was on my end, you guys. There's no one drag racing next to you. They're drag racing next to me. So I have a thing where I always felt weird in high school because shout out to my high school boyfriend. If you're listening, you're awesome. He was someone that could also, Alexa's laughing. Alexa, my ex.
I am her high school boyfriend.
No, you're my current boyfriend. Yes. No, he would listen to music while he did everything too. He was a DJ. And I always felt so dumb because I could never do homework, reading, anything while I was listening to music because I could not focus. I could not. If there was like a sound, I'd be taken out of it. And I don't know why that is. But I always felt kind of jealous. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to like put on some cool music and like do my homework. No, I needed like pin dropping silence. I envy you. I'm not judging you.
It's just interesting. And I think what it is, this is what I've deduced. I think that it sets the scene for me in a weird way. Cause I think when I'm reading, I see it, I'm so visual that I while I'm reading, I kind of see how things happen like a film. So it's kind of like the background music.
I see it that way too. Everything, but like if anything distracts from what's happening here, I'm out.
And that makes sense because they say that you really can only put your full attention on one thing at a time. So that may mean that I'm not fully invested in what I'm reading.
Or you are and you have a superhuman brain.
I don't know. I think that's very debatable.
To each his own. His own. I wish I had that. It's interesting because I've been knitting lately. And I even have a hard time like keeping the TV on while I'm knitting.
Really?
It's that bad. I have like
See, to me, I feel like that'd be like cooking. I would be like, oh, knitting? Yes, music.
Well, it's also because I have to look and think while I'm knitting because I'm obviously still a novice. So I'll have the TV on and I'll have to stop and watch if it's if you did
music.
Oh yeah.
You would be.
Yeah, that's fine. I think like if it's reading, I think it, like more to do with my eyes absorbing information. The ear, I don't know.
I wonder if that has anything to do with like how you interpret words on a page too. Like, I wonder if I'm reading. You know how people can like learn how to like read a page and like. There's a skill. I don't know what
eidetic
it's called.
Memory.
Yes.
Where like they literally, it's a photograph. Is it eidetic or is it just photographic?
I mean, I sort of have a photographic memory because that's how I remember things. I picture what it looks like on the page.
There are people that can literally like read it once and then they'll be able to like.
Yes. I don't know if I'm that type of person, but or like, is it speed reading or something where they can read?
Oh, I wanted to take a speed reading class.
Yes, I think that's what I'm
journalists
talking about.
Do that.
I think that's what I'm talking about. Like you speed read and you can pick up the main points of like what's happening without really reading every word. Is that what it is?
I think so.
That's always fascinated me. The brain is like a very interesting place.
1000%. It's my favorite place.
It's my favorite place, but also like there's so many things about it that I don't know that I like want to know, like tricks and things that I feel like you can learn.
I love some good tricks. Yeah, you guys have any tricks? Put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Alexa, are you okay?
I'm actually I'm doing great too.
Good.
I just came off of a right before this podcast, I was making risotto and listening to Frank.
The lemon one?
Yes. Pam's like
I just leaned my head on the mic.
Pam, we've upgraded it. We now serve it.
It was perfect.
I know, but we now serve it with a seared scallops. So it is like
Shan is a lucky man that can never complain about anything ever again.
I mean, he cooks a lot too, though. Like he's very good in the kitchen. So that's like we take turns. But yeah, we now do, and he does the scallops because he's better at cooking them than I am. So I make the risotto, he does the scallops, and we listen to Frank and we drink wine, and it's like a fun party.
That sounds beautiful. I made banana pancakes. There's only 4 ingredients.
I know, you told me that, and I meant to ask you what are the ingredients?
All right, ready, guys?
I'm ready.
Write this down.
Okay.
So, no, you don't have to. I'll text you, but our listeners, she was literally going to write it down. Take a ripe banana. If it has brown spots, totally cool.
Awesome.
Mash it up.
Yes.
Okay. Mash it up in a bowl till it's, mashed. I love how we've sunk to the point of giving recipes. Of me giving recipes.
This is great.
I am the worst cook. I found this online. I believe Ambitious Kitchen on Instagram had it. Fabulous. Check her out. Mash a banana. Put 2 eggs in there. Mix it up. Then take 2 tablespoons of the flour of your choice. I think she uses coconut flour. I found some wheat flour. 2 tablespoons. Throw that in. Milk of your choice. I chose almond milk. I did a tablespoon and a half. Depends on what consistency you like in your batter. Mix that all up.
Okay.
Put it on your pan or griddle.
Skittle.
Griddle. I'm so good in the kitchen, can't you tell?
It's great.
When it starts to bubble, flip it. Golden brown on the bottom. Plate it. Put a little honey on it. I like honey.
I was gonna say
maple syrup
peanut
for
butter. I was thinking
that would be fantastic. That's a great idea. I was also thinking about adding a couple chocolate chips.
Ooh.
But delicious, easy, healthy banana pancakes.
That sounds good.
Lemon risotto recipe, go. It's way more expensive.
I could tell you it though.
Grow a lemon.
No, guys, I'm serious. The best way, if you know how to make the process of risotto, is that you have to keep adding liquid constantly.
Alexa treats her ingredients like newborn babies, which I don't have the patience for.
It's therapeutic for me. It honestly is.
It's so good. You do very good.
You flavor your chicken stock, which is what is the liquid that goes in the risotto, because it's kind of like making rice, but you have to add it spoonfuls at a time. But you whole lemon, cut it in half, squeeze a whole lemon into that chicken stock, and I promise you, your risotto will turn out amazing. But the base of it is shallots and garlic in the olive oil before you add the rice. Arborio rice is risotto, by the way.
We should put the recipe in our Patreon. If you want the full recipes for our favorite dishes, go to our Patreon.
Yeah.
We're going to put that up. We'll put that
up like that
in a little written post.
It's good.
Gorgeous.
All right.
Anything else?
I'd really like to eat lemon risotto with Ida Lupino. That's a bucket list.
I want to eat Chipino.
That's a dream.
Is that a dream? Please, you're the Italian. Can you tell
what?
Me? I pronounced it wrong. Chipino?
Wait, her last name?
No, the seafood stew.
Wait, what?
Spelled C. It's a seafood stew.
I've never even heard of this, so I'm doing really.
Okay, hold on.
Chipino?
Spelled CIO. CIOPINO.
So you're right.
Chipino.
So CI is, I believe it's Cioppino. I believe CI. I know a little bit of Italian from singing because I had to sing Italian arias at one point. I think CI is cha.
I'm gonna convince Alexa to sing Italian arias on our Patreon.
No, guys, I forgot the words once at a recital. The most traumatizing experience of my life.
I'm sure you made it up. Did you make it up or did you just stop?
Imagine
you made it up.
Imagine losing your words in an Italian aria. Like, it's not I don't know the language. Like, I just did some stuff. I made it. I might have that. I don't know if I repeated a verse or I made things. I made it work, but it was traumatizing.
Love this. I'm so sorry. But it's cioppino. It's a fish stew, which oh shit. It says it's originated in San Francisco, but like it's Italian. But it says it originated in San Francisco. I don't know. Italian American dish. There's crab, clams, shrimp, scallops, squid, mussels, fish, tomatoes, and wine. It's a very good. I'm surprised you have never had it. I'm gonna take you out for cioppino.
I haven't.
We'll find a really good spot and we'll go.
Yeah.
But I just was doing a silly rhyme. I want to have cioppino with
Lupino. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
But I'm so happy because we cannot do that. I'm just happy we got to learn about her and how badass she was.
Yeah, me too.
Very good.
Yay.
Good idea, Alexa.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks
for coming to our TED Talk.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye now.
Have a great whatever time of day it is.
We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the things. If for some reason you want to see more of us, you can follow us on Instagram at No One's Okay.
And a special thanks to Jordan Ross Weinhold, Sean Moore, Jason Crow, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, Shane Rings, James Liddell, and our podcast is recorded at Soundworks Studios.
We can't wait to meet you!